Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com.
Hello, and welcome to this week's Varsity Weekly episode. I'm your host, Mary Grace Armistead, and in this episode we have a little bit of everything, from covering multiple Arizona events to inside interviews and your coverage of Arizona high school games this week. Also, please excuse my sick voice. As Vince always says, sports news never stops. Now let's hear from Jacob.
Hello, sports fans. Jacob Seaver here from Henderson, Nevada. I just had the opportunity to watch the ASU club baseball team face off against Utah State in their tournament this weekend. Had a great time. And earlier this week, I had the chance to talk with head coach Dave LaVecchio of ASU club baseball. Let's take a quick look at some of that conversation.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a great experience getting to travel and play baseball. Again, I played about 5 to 6 years of travel ball myself, and that was always my favorite experience, getting to travel and play the sport that I love with my teammates. And I remember just staying in the hotels and eating the food and all that with my teammates was always so much fun. And but I again appreciate you taking just a few moments to speak with me for our Varsity Weekly recap, again with head coach of ASU club baseball, Dave LaVecchio. Coach, the first question I want to ask you is, again, we've talked about this kind of a little bit on the Varsity radio show, but really, what is the benefit of joining a club sport? Again, a lot of these students are student athletes. They're here to play baseball, but they're also here to finish their studies. And kind of what is the importance of the discipline that it takes to be a student athlete? How can you kind of speak on that?
Yeah, one of the things that really sticks out to me is that there's a lot of transferable skills between playing a sport and the real world. One of the things that really sticks out to me is teamwork and leadership. A lot of the guys that I see, just seeing the trajectory from them being freshmen to being seniors, you see how much they start to lean into being a leader. And that's really important when you get into the real world, right? Is because you may not be the one that is actually managing a team, but you can still be a leader despite the fact that you may be what they call an individual contributor. So I think that's one of the things. I think also resiliency is something that stands out to me, right? If you think about it, a lot of these individuals, they were the stars of their high school team. And now you're coming into a more competitive environment where you may have expected to play every single game in high school, but now that may not be the same. You may be working hard for that position. So building that resiliency in a lot of our guys, I see that come out. And those, I think, that have the best resiliency on our team are the ones that end up really thriving on the team.
Did Riley say that? Yeah. Let's go, Riley. I'm supporting you.
And speaking on communication, one of the players that I actually had the chance recently to spend some time with and shoot a video with, Jackson Dow, he really comes off to me as a great communicator, and he's your catcher.
Oh, I play it for the glory. No, I'm just kidding. My name in lights. No, I play it for the people, honestly. I play it for the teammates, the camaraderie. I don't think you get this sort of bonds of friendship like this in any other any other sport. It's really great. So.
I want to hear, about some of the on the field and off the field stuff with Jackson. Specifically, how has he been a leader? Because to me, he really does kind of embody that leadership quality that you talk about is needed to play baseball.
Yeah, definitely. Jackson's a great person and also a great player. He really he stepped on and even seeing his evolution, he's grown a lot since he's joined our team last year, and kind of now leaning more into it. I think what's really most important, as a catcher, I was a catcher myself, and one of the most important things of a catcher is you see the entire field, right? Whereas most players are actually looking at you. And so depending on where you're at in the field, you can't see the entire field. And that's the unique position that a catcher has. And so that's why a catcher's leadership is extremely important, because you are really orchestrating the entire field on every play that's going on. And Jackson does a really good job of that. And I think Jackson also does a really good job of holding everyone accountable, right? And seeing what's going on in the situation and being able to say, hey, like I need you here, and instead you were over here. And he's also really good about holding himself accountable if he realizes that, maybe he messed up somewhere.
Awesome. Well, at that, head coach Dave Lavecchio, thank you so much once again. I've really enjoyed spending a lot of time around the team. And again, I really look forward and wish you guys the best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, Jacob. Appreciate all your support as well.
Thank you, Jacob. Now let's hear from Brandon, who has an exclusive interview.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Varsity Sports Show for the NAIA Sports Report. I'm your host, Brandon Tran. I got Coach Nicole Hennessy over here, the softball coach, hanging to her. Correct me if I'm wrong. First season at Embry-Riddle's, correct?
Correct.
Tell me, what got you to coming to Embry-Riddle here?
I think the university is so unique. I probably would have attended a university like this myself. I originally went into college wanting to study biology or some sort of forensic psychology, and then found my passion in the kinesiology route and knew I wanted to be a college coach at 18. So when the opportunity opened up here at Embry-Riddle, the team had just had their best competitive season yet, and it was a little bit closer to home since I'm a California native and was previously in South Carolina. So it just was one of those perfect opportunities where the stars aligned.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you were previously assisting at Furman, correct?
Correct. Yes, I was there for a year.
And you're currently on an 8-game winning streak. Currently 18-9, 10-0 in the Cal-Pac conference so far. Walk me through that success through the season.
If you look at the beginning of our season, it was not as successful. We were still trying to find our identity and understand that we do have to compete each pitch, and we can't rely on the banner from last year and the trophy from last year. So heading into conference, our hashtag is run it back for Cal-Pac. So that's kind of been our goal all season, is to go hopefully undefeated in Cal-Pac and defend the championship from last year. So we've really been just trying to compete one pitch at a time and have fun while doing it.
And you say when you had a rough start in that first half of the season. I remember it was like your team was like 5-7 to start off, and then you won 13 out of the last 15 games.
Right. Yeah. So it was a new coach and new style and new approach to season. So, they had some coaching changes the past couple of years. So my approach is a little bit different. And we opened up with 2 ranked opponents right off the bat. We had 6 days of practice, and only one had been on the field itself due to some weather and some snow. So we kind of just threw ourselves in the deep end, and we figured out how to tread some water after taking in some water here and there. But yeah, we've turned a corner, and I think the team's starting to really hit a stride here.
And how important was it to build that new chemistry and you're meeting new faces coming at Embry-Riddle?
Extremely important. Yeah, I feel that I'm completely different than what they've had before, but I also know my experiences as an athlete as well as in the collegiate world has prepared me to take on this team and to help this team, build off of last year and learn, what's healthy, what's not, and how do we hold each other accountable but still have a healthy culture. And so it's been a work in progress, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
And what's the challenging thing coming into Embry-Riddle since this is your first season here?
I think just getting that buy-in and having the athletes trust me and earning that trust and that respect. I show them I'm a servant leader. I'm out there working on the field with my assistant. I don't ask very much of them. I show them that, I'm here to run the ship, and I just ask that you do your part. But I mean, it's always going to be interesting taking over a program the first year, but luckily I have a great group of athletes who were open to a new coaching style and have really gotten on board and are helping me row in the direction of winning that championship.
And you're coming off a sweep on that both doubleheader on a Sunday and Monday against La Sierra, winning 8-0, 13-4, 16-1, and 13-3. Walk me through that sweep over there.
Yeah, we prepared for that series throughout the week. We did have some days off because it's the middle of the year. We're getting some injuries. We've got some kids getting sick. We got midterms, we're still students first. And we had been traveling quite a bit. So we took some days off, got some rest, kind of recharged and realized, okay, second half of season, fresh start. And we really attacked it with our approach at the plate. I mean, you got to score to win. Our defense held it down. Our pitching staff is awesome all around. So we really just stuck with the approach at the plate. And in that last game, it was a little bit of a nail biter for a bit. And so we reverted back to small ball and moving runners and squeezing one in. And then after that, I mean, we just blew it open. And I feel very fortunate that we have that depth and that ability to do so.
And what do you like seeing from the team so far this year?
They have really turned the corner when it comes to resiliency. At first it was, well, we won last year, so everyone's going to roll over this year. And it took some time for them to realize that you do have to show up and compete. And now people are going to bring their best stuff to you. So you got to work a little harder and put a little extra work in order to continue to build off of last year. So we've gotten better with that, and I'd like to continue for them to get better with that and just kind of staying present in the moment and not relying on what happened last year, because that's over. Half a season's already over here. So all we can do is compete this pitch and focus on our process.
All right. Thank you, Coach Nicole Hennessy, for having you on the show. And thank you for watching the Varsity Sports Show for the NAIA Sports Report. And thank you for having you on the show.
Thank you, Brandon.
In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.
Thank you, Brandon. Now let's hear from Sebastian, who was at the Desert Mountain baseball game.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sebastian Mondag. I'm here with the head coach for Desert Mountain, Ryan Dyer. Coach, amazing game performance from your team overall. What can you take away from this game at all?
That's the team we've been waiting for all year right there. It's just been a tough grind all the way through here. The kids have been keeping their head up, battling every day, and this is what we've been expecting since day one. So hopefully we can keep this up going into Verado next Wednesday. They're a heck of a team. Another must-win game for us to stay alive for the playoff race, and very proud of the boys today for keeping it going.
Other than the third inning, it's just been a slaughter for the offense, something to take away. It's offense, defense. What were you telling your team after every inning, and what was just keeping that momentum going?
Well, they know the approach. Just stay simple, stay inside the baseball, think right side, adjust in, and put pressure on the defense, and that's what they did today. That's what they've been asked to do all year. We just haven't had the breaks, and today we did.
And what's your takeaway with Lucas Geisler having a terrific performance today?
Well, he's a stud. He's our guy this year, and we're just going to keep riding him till the end. And he stepped up today in a must-win game for us, and we expect him to do that down the road for us a few more times.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Sebastian. Now let's head over to Dominique, who was at the Saguaro baseball game.
Hi, everyone. I'm back here with Coach Joe Mickey. So, Coach, today you had an impressive win today with multiple players being able to get multiple hits in the team able to today.
Just great, Coach. Get it to the next guy. Do your job. Confidence. We're calling their numbers. They're doing their job. That makes it, as a coach, hard if your number's not called, but that's what it's all about. And we're getting a lot of buy-in, and it's why we're where we're at.
And on top of it, you guys had a great performance performance by Gregory today. So just tell me how he was able to find his pitches and being able to have a great and efficient game today.
No, just been working real hard in the bullpen. Nice to see it translate on game days. One of those guys who's just really working at his craft. Hasn't thrown a ton of innings coming in until this year, and you're watching a kid kind of just blossom right here in front of us. And just been somebody we've leaned on, and defensively behind him, give him a chance to get into the 5th and 6th, and just really good stuff on both all ends of the defensive performance.
Well, thank you so much, Coach Mickey, and congratulations on this impressive win today.
Thank you, guys. Always appreciate the Varsity Sports crew. Thank you, guys.
And Jake, back to you.
Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
Welcome back. Let's see who Jacob grabbed for the player of the game at the Sagaro baseball game.
My director. All right, so we are here with the player of the game, sophomore Cam Caminiti. As a sophomore, a home run and a triple tonight. What is the key to success?
I mean, just trying to play for the guys around me, honestly, for my team, trying to win as a team. I mean, we don't really like those guys over there, but we just got to stay within ourselves, play our game, so that's it.
And then rounding the bases, what was that feeling like after hitting that go-ahead home run in such a crucial situation?
That's one of the best moments of my life so far, and to beat those guys, so it's just great.
Awesome. Well, great game today, and good luck in the future.
Thank you, sir.
Back to you.
Thank you, Jacob. Now let's hand it over to Brett with our last segment.
So, Coach, I just want to first touch on, great start to the season thus far, 13-1. I just want to start, what has been the key to the success to the start of the season, coming off of, obviously you guys had a tough loss last year to O'Connor in the championship, and now you come out and you beat O'Connor this year, and now you just had a great win against a tough 20-1 that was Brophy yesterday, I believe.
Yep.
So what has been the key to success for this team thus far?
Yeah, so I think there's two things. One, this group has played a lot of volleyball together, so there's a lot of cohesiveness already that it has existed. A lot of these players have been playing 3 or 4 years together. So the fact that we can kind of start ahead of the pace at the beginning of the season helped us for sure this year. And then obviously there's some motivation. A lot of these guys are seniors. Losing to O'Connor last year motivated us a lot in that match. We kind of just want to get better every match and every practice. And so there's a lot of motivation that's just driven from these guys, and then just a lot of experience. And so I think those two things have helped us have a great start.
All right. And I believe you came in as the coach in the 15-16 season. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I was looking at Max Preps for that.
My first season here.
Where can you say this team ranks from some of the previous teams? Where can you say this team ranks as one of the teams you've had from your coaching stint here?
Two things that I think sets this team apart. This team's offense is by far my most dynamic offense. We've just got hitters at every level and every position, and so that helps. And this team's, again, experience just pays off. These guys are kind of veteran players. They've played a lot of varsity volleyball matches and against a lot of tough in-state and out-of-state competition. So every team's different. Every year is different. This team's even different than last year. But this group just brings a real good competitive offense, and they have a lot of experience.
All right. And then last question specifically for you, Coach. As a coach, what kind of are your philosophies that you like to teach your players, whether it be for the game or maybe even off the court as well? What do you like to preach towards your players?
Yeah, there's a couple of things that we have in our culture here. And one is an acronym called ACEs. We believe that we try to control what we can control. So that's our attitude, our effort, our communication, our selflessness. We preach that every day. If we can be great about what we can control, then the stuff that's outside of our control, I think we do a little bit better at managing those things. We all want to win matches. We're all trying to work hard. We all want to win. But if we can control those things, I think we can be really good. And then the other thing is stay really present. You know, last year's over and this year's yet to be decided. So we're trying to stay present every day, trying to get better every day and make it about today and enjoy today and make the most of today. So that's kind of where our culture lies and what we try to focus on day to day.
All right. And now these are some questions for the players. Either of you could answer, or if you both want to share an answer. So obviously, like I mentioned earlier, 13-1, this team has to be great with team chemistry to have great record like that, and some of dominant performances. I've seen you rarely have given up like any points in any of the matches. What can you guys say about the team chemistry that this team has that has helped you become this successful this far this season?
I think like you said, all of us, especially all the seniors, have played years together since like seventh grade. So we've had a lot of time together, but I think everyone on our team is just really good at getting along. There's not really any times when anyone's fighting or like anything. We all just have good chemistry and have known each other for a long time.
All right, and if each of you want to kind of just touch up on, can you share like what you feel like you bring most to the team, or what your role is for the team that you think fits you the best?
My role, I've my role on the team. It's a great question. Probably on the court, I'm an outside hitter, passing and hitting, obviously, but like that's not everything to the game. Everything to the game is the game's a lot of momentum points, and when you get a big point and you celebrate big, and me personally, when I celebrate big, that's what really sets us apart, and that's what I try to do the most on the court is big celebrity, big yeller, get the guys hype and get them ready for the next point and build the momentum.
Yeah, and I think I like to just bring a lot of focus in games and practice and try to keep everyone locked in. So what we're trying to do and what our ultimate goal is. And that's obviously win everything we can. So I just try to stay locked in and bring energy on and off the court. So.
All right, and then last question specifically for you two. Is there any certain, obviously a championship is definitely the top priority, but is there any other certain maybe individual goals that you have, or if you want to speak for the entire team, some team goals that you hope to accomplish to finish out the season?
One thing we said at the start of the year was, yeah, so we all thought, oh, we're gonna come in, we're gonna be the best team, blah 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 blah. And like the first practice we have ever had, the first thing someone said in here was to stay humble and be like, don't think you're the best team, think you're the worst team, and you have to prove something, because we know we're pretty good, but it's sometimes a bad thing when you think, oh, we're the best team and people come out and beat you all the time. So that's what I think one thing for us was to stay humble and realize we don't care if we're the number 1 or the number 30th seed. We need to play intense every single point, every single game.
Yeah, I'm going off of him. I think staying humble would help a lot, because last year we kind of started out pretty similar to this year. We didn't lose a game for a long time, but we kind of got gassed a little bit and slowed down at the end of the year. But I think this year with more experience, we'll be able to keep on the gas and just finish out the year stronger than we did last year.
All right, thank you guys so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Unfortunately, this is the end of Varsity Weekly for this week, but follow us on Twitter at Varsity Show and tune in for next week's Varsity Weekly. I'm your host, Mary Grace Armstead.
Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com.